Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing An Unquiet Grave, streaming now on Shudder. Yes, we love Shudder! Yay! But let's see if we love this movie too. We'll find out tonight. All right. Also joining me is the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent. We call the summer of 2021 the year of 7th grade baseball.
I have no idea what that means.
I know. I'm like, am I missing something?
I've been to 3 or 4 baseball games a week this summer. I love it, though. I love it. I love baseball.
All right. For that, real quick, for those who don't know, Jeff also is in charge of the Decades of Horror, the Classic Era, and Decades of Horror, the 1980s, as well as joining me on Decades of Horror, the 1970s. So just dropping some titles there that you might want to look for if you enjoy Jeff Mohr and this crew.
And if you watch one of the Classic Era of the 80s episodes, you'll know who's really in charge. Because it ain't me.
It's everybody else.
Everybody else.
All right. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
You're totally in charge, Jeff. You're totally in charge. I'm just a quiet church mouse in the back.
Yes, because Crystal, you are also on the 80s, Decades of Horror.
Yes, I am. And I love it. It's so much fun.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just it's a totally different feel and a different vibe. And who doesn't love the 80s?
Nobody doesn't love the 80s.
Yeah, nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So what we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to review An Unquiet Grave, to get the full title in there, streaming on Shudder. What we're going to do after that, we give our, let me rephrase that. We're going to first give our first impressions, and that will be spoiler free. Then we'll get into our review, and that's going to be a little spoilery. There's not much to spoil in this particular one, but we'll see. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But as we get into it, let's find out what the card says. All right, An Unquiet Grave, available streaming on Shudder beginning June 24th, 2021. Director is Terence Krey, and he wrote it alongside Christine Nyland, who also starred along with Jacob A. Ware. I like that.
A. Ware.
Yeah, I wonder if that... Never mind. Synopsis. A year after the death of his wife, a man enlists her sister to help him bring her back from the grave. And perhaps his unquiet grave. All right, let's do this. Let's give our first impression of An Unquiet Grave. Crystal, you are up first.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Okay. So, is this a micro-budget film? I'm assuming it is. It feels like a micro-budget film.
There's literally a cast of 2. So
yeah. So I would assume so. And not many locations. Like that honestly could have been practically anywhere, the whole thing. So that's a positive as well, I suppose. That is being taken into consideration as I'm doing this review, because I would never compare this movie to something with a bigger budget, because it just cannot compete in any way, shape, or form. It suffers from a few things that lower budget films, the biggest and most glaring issue, and this is going to be silly to me, is that it has horrible lighting. The lighting is just bad. And it's not even the dome light like that Dave hates so much. It's just that the moonlight is not even, like, I don't know if they decided not to color grade it, or it's confusing. And I understand moonlight isn't typically blue, but we see it as blue because that's what we've been taught in movies. And it's odd that they just totally decided to do their own thing. It unfortunately felt inauthentic because of that, and it drew me out of the movie somewhat. The plot is fine. It is what it is. It's simple. And I think that the actors did a good job with what they had. And I think that the story makes sense. And some of the cinematography I enjoyed. Some of it was just okay. I think that some of the editing made the movie feel lower budget as well. There was some weird time thing in the beginning that really threw me off. You start out with one scene and then I guess it just skips ahead. I don't even think he faded to black when they did this, and it kind of threw me for a loop where you're apparently anyway, you figured it out, and yeah, it was entertaining but not compelling like it should have been with the subject matter that we were dealing with. But like I said, I feel like the actors did what they could, and I think that it was okay. I didn't dislike it. I just I could point out a ton of points where it could have been done better and it wouldn't have affected the budget or changed anything. But you know, I don't know how many people they had involved. It seemed very small. So it was, yeah. God, I said a lot. But yeah, I don't want to poop on it because honestly, it's not bad, but it's not good either. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. All right,
Yeah.
let's find out. This might be a Jeff Mohr film. Jeff, you're up next. What was your first impression of An Unquiet Grave?
Okay, so this, it's it kept me interested, right? And there was enough stuff going on, and I noticed that Terence Krey, it's his first feature.
Oh, okay. That's you. Okay.
And I also noticed that the lead actress, I forget her first name, Nyland.
Christine Nyland, yeah.
Christine Nyland. She and Krey co-wrote it, and they're working on 2 other collaborations that are in post and pre-production. And just like Crystal said, that we have the cast is 2 people, and one of them is the co-writer. So between director, writers, and cast, you've got 4 people, I guess. Yeah.
And that's exactly why I don't want to,
Right. I'm not saying
impressive.
That's a bad thing.
No, that's impressive for only, if the smaller the amount of people, the more impressive it is, of course, I mean.
And so, yeah, with only 2 people in there, it kept me interested. And to me, it was an interesting variation on a plot or a story that we often see in horror that involves twins. I can't recall that I've seen one quite like this before, so I was interested in that. And it starts off the very beginning, if I recall correctly, the story is kind of focused on Ava, one of the twin sisters, and then not too far in, it switches over to Jamie, the widower, I guess, of her sister. So now once again we get that kind of that conundrum. We see it seems like I see this a lot anymore. Are they crazy or is this supernatural? Mm-hmm. And I literally was like thinking, is this supernatural? Is this what you see is what you get, or is it a dream? Could even be a dream, or is there insanity involved here? And it's kind of hard to tell. And I'm totally with Crystal. The ending was very abrupt, and you really just leaves the audience to their own devices. It's. But I enjoyed it, but the ending bothered me a lot. I guess I don't know. It's one that I wanted to have one more hint maybe or something of what was going on. Anyway, I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, like, what are you trying to tell us? All right, so this should be an uneven grave. It is very uneven film. it's not for me. I'll just straight up say I did not enjoy this movie and watching this movie. The characters didn't appeal to me. The situation didn't appeal to me. It plays out as a mystery in the first act of like, are they, aren't they, what are they doing? And it didn't, that didn't interest me. The latter half of the film was a little more interesting because it was like, okay, now that we know, what are the effects? And but even then, there were some weird things happening that just didn't grab my attention at all. To me, this is a miss. I mean, it's an achievement based, like what Crystal is saying. It's achievement as far as making the film. It's not a poorly made film. I just don't think the story has enough going on for it to really grab you, or told in a way that captures a general audience type of vibe. It's definitely a what I call a festival film.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to a film festival, but there's a type of film that really plays well in a film festival environment, and this is definitely one of those films. But I just really did not enjoy this and found myself kind of really wishing it was over. But I don't know I mean, I think it really isn't the actor's fault or the director's. It's just really the story itself just did not capture my attention. And
I wonder about that though,
ready
because
for it to be done.
I think about if this film was shot incredibly well, I think it would improve it.
I don't know.
I do.
I don't know if I mean,
what's awkward is the way it's shot. You don't even know where you are. You don't even know where you are. Like when the grave appeared in the backyard, I was like, "What? Why is he going back?" They actually had to tell us, "Oh, it appeared in my backyard. Why did it?" When he's on the phone,
right?
You see, like they are not showing; they are telling.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. Like, I was like, there are ways they could have shown that it was in the backyard or that the grave appeared in the backyard other than just telling us like that.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, there are some things that were...
And I don't think the stakes were presented in a way that made it urgent, right? It just felt so... It's just kind of chugging along. And I didn't feel any urgency to, the first half of the film. Kind of knew what was going to happen. I was kind of like, okay, let's just get there. And then the latter half of the film, it just, what are the stakes? What's really going to happen? There's nobody else to kind of inform us. I think it would have helped. Another character would have helped the situation, something to involve the audience, because we don't relate to either one of these characters. So we needed a character to relate to. I suppose
to anchor it. I think
right,
so.
right.
I think a character anchoring their relationship as well would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that I could think of that would have made it. Because I do know what happened. I understand what happened. And I understand the end. And, I mean, I get it. She's back. And I get, but, yeah.
But even the part about, where there's this long scene about the unquiet grave in and of itself and a shovel that was just like, I was like, and I even, they even, had the wherewithal to kind of give us an idea, about, I heard that, if they, that the jaw will do this weird thing, right? So you knew there was going to be something ghastly in there, but it was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Jeff, chime in here, man. Let us know how wrong we are.
I guess maybe I don't know enough about it to notice it. I agree with Crystal about the grave, because I didn't, whatever it was, he like walks outside and in his yard or something in the forest and sees something and runs back in, and I didn't see it. I didn't know what he was so worked up about until he told somebody. There was a couple other questions I have about it. if I spend much time thinking about it, I can fit it in. And I didn't, for the most part, I didn't have a problem with the way it was shot. I thought it was very atmospheric. It's very dark, you know, and the way it opens up, it throws out that initial question because she says to him, "Can you really do it?" And that got me interested in what is it can you really do? And they don't tell you right away. And then what does it say, months later or something like that, or months earlier, or I don't remember. There was a weird. There was a title card. Yeah. There was a weird transition at the beginning that I didn't quite get. So yeah, if this is a micro budget picture, I guess, and I don't know how low the budget was, but I don't know what to tell you other than I enjoyed it. It did keep me interested. I wanted to see what was going on. I wanted to see what the outcome was. There's not much in terms of effects. It left me with some questions. I don't know for sure, what happened in terms of, from my point of view, an unreliable narrator. When you only have two people and they don't interact with anybody else, it's kind of hard to.
Neither one of them are reliable, to be honest.
So let me tell you, I don't know if this director has actually heard of an establishing shot or a wide shot. That's all I'm saying. Everything is just, that's why it's confusing. And the story is not meant to be told that way. There are establishing shots and wide shots for reasons. Because it gives the audience direction.
Context.
Direction. Yeah. And that's what we need. And I get it. The problem is, I think that it was so low budget that they were working in areas where they couldn't do those types of shots. But that's a problem. Those are things that have to be, that they have to exist there. And that was what was rough for me, because it gives the story a lot of context, and we did not have that context unless they told us.
Or you have to be very forgiving. Audience, and some people are. So
yeah, and I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, for this many people, I think it's fabulous. I mean, for such a small budget and a small amount of people, great. That's wonderful. I think it's great. It's just, if it lacks, and there's room for improvement. That's all.
Yeah, I'm generally a Paul Abdul on these kind of films, but not tonight.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're usually with me. I'm like,
all right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do, if you're watching this review, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We hope you're enjoying not only this review, but many other reviews we have on the site. If you want to help us out, hit the subscribe button, share with a friend. Both of them would do us wonders, especially that subscribe button.
Yeah, we're super close to where we want to be. Yeah. We were saying, like, if you share with 10 people, and then your friend shares with 10 people, yay!
I mean, I'll be happy with 2, but go for 10. Yes. And then, of course, leave your comments.
It's exponential, any way you look at it.
Yeah, we hope, right? Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Crystal, you're up first. Final thought, score, favorite scene.
Okay, so I'm giving this a 2.75. Take into consideration everything. I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I didn't have any problem watching it. I enjoyed parts of it as well, and I think the acting was good, and I could understand what was going on, and the differentiation between the characters and stuff was great. I think a lot of people will also dislike this film. I think it's going to be polarizing, so that's interesting. I would say my favorite scene is, actually, and I think this was done really well, by the way, is the digging into the cut.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I was like, that looks really good. So, yeah, I have to give it to the special effects on that one. I enjoyed it.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good choice. All right, Jeff, you're up next, sir. Have at it.
I could just almost repeat what Crystal said. I enjoyed it, but there's going to be a lot of people that didn't like it, and I enjoyed it, but I had problems with it. Strangely enough, I think it's interesting the way we talk about films, because I'm giving this a 2.75 as well.
Yeah.
For me, it's the ending was the biggest rub, I guess, and I would have liked. I think there was another one there with bigger impact. I'm not going to try to. I'm not a writer, so but it felt a little flat to me, all of it, and abrupt. Favorite scene? I'm going to take the scene where she is going. These aren't my hands. You know, these don't feel like my hands, or something like that. Because I thought that was good. It gave me the creeps just a little bit.
Yeah, it is creepy. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess I'm up next. No, I didn't enjoy this film. 2.0. I didn't get into the situation. Didn't like the characters. Didn't relate to them. So it kind of all that worked against me even getting involved in this. And that the context wasn't strong. The conflict wasn't strong enough for me. So it's one of those films where I feel bad about knocking it. Because you see that the people involved and the effort is, genuine and sincere and hardworking and everything, but it just fell flat for me, and I did not enjoy it. So 2.0 is the best I can do. Favorite scene? I think it's when there's a shot where she wakes up and they're face to face in the car, right? And I liked how that was shot. It was just it was interesting. It was where the composition of the shot impressed me, and that happened a couple times. And I'll actually go one better and give a second thing. There's an element of the story that I found interesting, and I don't know if it was ever if I lost track of it or if it just fell on the wayside. But there are times where he was. Where there was a relationship, romantic entanglement starting to happen during various scenes, and he kind of pulled away each time, and it felt like there was something going on. But if I lost track of that storyline, but at first it had me interested. It was like, okay, what's going on here? I don't know why.
Don't you think that was because of the fact that she was his wife's dead wife's queen, and he knew what he was planning to do. So he was
maybe I don't know. Maybe all right. So there you go. There's our review of Unquiet Grave. It's streaming now on Shudder. So give this thing a watch. You have Shudder, so watch it. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. Jeff, Crystal, thank you so much for joining me here. Even regardless of what we think of the film, because it's always fun to talk about.
Check it out. Don't listen to us. Find out for yourself. And
I'm curious how many people, which
one of us fits you.
Yeah, every time we kind of go on this end of the stick, somebody chimes in saying, "Oh, this is great. You're wrong.
You're so what? Stupid. You're right. I'm stupid.
You're absolutely right. We are. All right. Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.